Imagine standing on the edge of the world, where the mist parts just once every 500 years to reveal the impossible, a city shimmering in the heart of the desert, where no city should exist. This isn't just a legend. This is the story of Zerzura, the lost city of white birds, a place that calls to explorers across centuries, only to vanish as quickly as it appears. For millennia, whispers of Zerzura have haunted the sands of the Sahara. Ancient texts describe it as a city of unparalleled beauty, with white walls that gleam like polished bone under the sun. Its gates are guarded by strange, dark-skinned giants, its springs flow with sweet water, and its treasures are said to be beyond mortal comprehension. But Zerzura is a ghost. It materializes for a fleeting moment, a mirage made real, before the desert swallows it whole again, leaving behind nothing but sand and silence. The first recorded account comes from a 13th century manuscript, the Kitab al-Kanuz, or the Book of Hidden Pearls. It tells of a man named Hamid, a camel herder who, lost in a brutal sandstorm, stumbled upon a narrow valley he had never seen before. At its end stood a city with white walls, and perched atop its gates was a carving of a strange bird. He entered, finding streets paved with silver and gardens lush with fruits he couldn't name. He saw people with skin as dark as the night sky, and they offered him water from a spring that tasted like honey. Fearing he was dreaming or bewitched, Hamid fled, taking only a handful of strange, red jewels he found by the city's well. When he returned to his tribe, his story was dismissed as a heat-induced hallucination. But the jewels, they were rubies of a size and purity no one had ever seen. Hamid spent the rest of his life searching for that valley, but it was gone. The desert had reclaimed its secret. Centuries passed. The legend of Zerzura became a campfire story, a tale for dreamers. But then, in the early 20th century, the age of exploration dawned, and the lure of the lost city was reignited. Men of science and adventure, equipped with maps and modern technology, became obsessed. One of them was a Hungarian count and desert explorer named Laszlo Almasy. You might know him from the film The English Patient, but his real story is far more fascinating. Almasy was convinced Zerzura was real. He dedicated years of his life to a relentless quest, scouring the vast, uncharted Libyan desert. He found clues scattered across the sands. Ancient rock paintings depicting strange figures and animals not native to the area. Faint, almost invisible tracks that seemed to lead nowhere. He followed the whispers of Bedouin tribes who spoke of a valley of birds that would appear and disappear with the shifting dunes. They warned him that the city was protected by powerful spirits, the jinn who would lead travelers astray with mirages and false hopes. Almasy pressed on, driven by an unshakable belief. In 1932, after years of failed expeditions, Almasy and his team made a breakthrough. Flying a small biplane over the Gilf Khyber Plateau, a massive, remote wilderness of rock and sand, they spotted something that made their hearts stop. Below them were 3 hidden valleys, lush with vegetation, completely concealed within the barren landscape. It was an oasis where no oasis should be. They had found the legendary Valley of Birds, but where was the city? They landed and explored the valleys on foot. The air was thick with the chirping of thousands of birds, a stark contrast to the dead silence of the surrounding desert. They found prehistoric rock art, paintings of swimmers in a desert that had been bone dry for millennia. It was a land lost in time, yet there was no city. No white walls, no paved streets, no treasure. Had the legend been just a story after all? Was this oasis the seed of the myth? Exaggerated over centuries? Almasy was heartbroken. He had found the setting, but the jewel was missing. But this is where the story takes a turn, where science and myth collide. Modern geologists and physicists have proposed a truly mind-bending theory. What if Zerzura isn't just a place, but a phenomenon? Some scientists have speculated about the existence of what they call temporal anomalies or dimensional pockets, localized distortions in spacetime. Could a place like Zerzura exist on a different dimensional plane, one that only aligns with our own under very specific cyclical conditions? Every 500 years, perhaps due to a unique alignment of celestial bodies or a fluctuation in the Earth's magnetic field, the veil thins. For a brief period, the two realities overlap and Zerzura becomes visible, tangible in our world. Think about it. This would explain why it appears and disappears without a trace. It would explain why it's always found by accident, by those who are lost and desperate, perhaps unknowingly stumbling into the right place at the exact right time. The people Hamid saw, the giants, the strange fruits, could they be inhabitants of another reality, as startled to see him as he was to see them. The city isn't hidden by sand. It's hidden by time itself. Let's look at the timeline. The Book of Hidden Pearls was written in the 13th century. Hamid's encounter would have been around that time. Fast forward 500 years, and we arrive in the 18th century. Around this time, a flurry of new reports from traders and travelers emerged, describing a mysterious white oasis deep in the Sahara, a place they could never find again. Another 500 years brings us to today, to our time. The cycle is due. The window is opening. This isn't just an ancient myth anymore. It's a question that challenges our understanding of reality. We map the stars, we split the atom, but the planet we live on still holds secrets so profound they sound like fantasy. Zerzura isn't just a lost city of gold and jewels. It's a key. A key to the idea that our world is infinitely more complex and mysterious than we can possibly imagine. That there are other realities, other timelines, brushing up against our own, separated by a veil so thin it occasionally tears. What would you do if you stumbled upon it? If you were lost in the desert and through the haze of heat, you saw white walls shining in the distance? Would you dare to enter, knowing you might never find your way back to your own time? Or that when you returned, centuries might have passed? The legend of Zerzura is a test of courage, a siren song for the adventurer in all of us. It reminds us that the greatest treasures are not gold or jewels, but the truths that lie just beyond the edge of our maps, waiting in the silence to be discovered. The city is out there, waiting for the cycle to complete. The only question is, who will be there when the mist parts again? If this journey into the unknown pulled you in, imagine where the next one will take us. The world is full of mysteries waiting to be unlocked. Subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with someone who loves a good adventure. Your next journey into the extraordinary starts right here. Thanks for watching.